afternoon, Mexican Soccer Show here. Luiso Vasquez, and Amy doesn't want us to do this. Oh, wait, I gotta put it back. No, wait, where do we go? There we are. So, like this, is this good? No?
That's somehow worse. You somehow
worse? Is it worse?
Or
is it like this? There it is.
Yeah.
Say, all right. Welcome. World Cup qualifiers are here. Second date, and we're excited to come back to you all the way from Los Angeles, Tijuana. Wait, no, San Diego. I would say Tijuana, Cesar, because you're always there. And I'm in Phoenix. Anymore. Welcome all. ¿Cómo estás, Amy?
I'm fine. I'm kind of hungry. I had a chimichanga, but it didn't do enough for me. So
chimichanga.
So if we can get this wrapped up as quickly as possible, that'd be great.
Done. All right. We're going straight into your what you think is going to happen with your predictions. But anyway.
No, Cesar, it's so rude. I know I'm hungry, but Cesar is literally right there, man.
Cesar, welcome.
To be fair, I'm pretty hungry too. So we're keeping the pod just like 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes so we can do that. Mexico's going to beat Canada. Then they're going to get another 3 points.
Okay, that's what we can't come into the show doing because Cesar, not Cesar. I'm so sorry. I don't want to put this on you, Cesar. We
win?
He has a big head when it comes to his predictions.
Did we win?
You know what? The only time it worked for you was when you said Leon was going to lose like 14-0, and then they ended up winning.
I should do that. Did we win though? When I said that about Canada last time, you were all
barely
still won. Burley. All right. Welcome everybody on the chat. Hopefully you guys can see the Twitter stream because
I clicked on it. It worked. Right? Yeah.
So it's like
it worked for me when it took us
since Periscope is gone. It's not like I don't necessarily see in it, but I guess it's there. Let me see. Yeah, okay, it's there. I see it now. All right, cool. All right, if you're joining us on the Mexican Soccer Show Twitter, send us a comment. See, letting us know where you're at. If you're on YouTube right now, same thing. Send us a comment. Let us know where you're at. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started with lots to talk about. World Cup qualifiers are here, and jumping right in tomorrow, play against Canada, a team, the best Canada, a historic Canada. Canada hasn't lost. All these things about Canada, and I'm here to
credit. You got the thing is, like,
I'm going to continue doing this.
It's weird because you're like, by the end of the World Cup qualifying cycle, I'm gonna for whatever reason just like root for Canada, like just to spite you. I don't know why. I just feel like I need to root for them now.
I don't know. Have you seen all the Canada fans have all of a sudden have come out of nowhere and is like confident that
if we had an Alphonso Davies, I'd feel pretty confident too. If we had Jonathan David, I'd feel pretty confident too.
Okay, yeah, Alphonso Davies replacing our player and then the rest of the players. But anyway, we'll jump into it. So for any Canada fans that are out right now, okay, fine. Let's talk about Canada. Let's go ahead and jump right in on what you're expecting tomorrow.
You just like completely ignored my rundown, right? Just forgot.
You sent the rundown
that happened today.
You didn't send the rundown? I didn't see the rundown.
Yes, Cesar knows what we were supposed to talk about first, right?
Actually, did you send a rundown?
Did you send a rundown?
It's a trick question. I did not, but there's breaking news today.
Okay.
I was gonna say, like,
Amy does this a lot. I just want to make sure. I'm like, no, you did not send a rundown. But all right. We'll stick to what I think we talked about is our players that were called up before we talk about Canada, right?
No, we talked about Julian Araujo.
Oh, this thing is going completely off the rails. Julian Araujo, breaking news. Might as well just get it out of the way before we actually start talking about the game, man.
Get out of the way.
Fine.
Well, not get it out of the way, but it's breaking news today.
Like, getting it out of the way. All right. Breaking news. Julian Araujo, go ahead, Amy. Read this amazing statement, which Cesar said it's like...
I'm not reading the whole thing. You guys you guys have Twitter. Go ahead and go look for his account.
The best part of being Mexican-American is that I can carry 2 flags. It's one of the things about myself that brings my great pride. I like that already. I like that. I'm proud of a Mexican-American. Being raised in a Mexican-American household is a privilege for which I am forever grateful. Just the bold part. My heart is with Mexico, and we all applaud. Everything else. And my heart is from Mexico. I'm just kidding. I hope to contribute to this sport for years to come and inspire the next generation of athletes on both sides of the border. I actually really like this statement. I did.
Yeah.
Because there's
we obviously like
conversation.
We like it because it's talking about why he chose Mexico. Like, so.
Can you imagine? Wait, Wait, go back to it. And what if it was all for like the U.S. in that way?
Well, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
in that self-reflective kind of standpoint, didn't another player just say that they went for the
Ricardo.
US along
Yeah, I think we've heard something similar from like Ricardo Pepi, who was like, "I'm very proud of like who I am, my heritage." But I think I mean, more than anything else, this shows how difficult this decision can be for some players. Like I said, whether they choose U.S. or Mexico. Luckily, he chose Mexico, which is well, that's definitely the right side.
Luckily for us.
Because I mean, we definitely. I know a lot of people are thinking it's like, oh, like will be good enough for the national team and he plays for the Galaxy, blah blah. Like realistically speaking, he plays a position that we really need more depth in. And when you look at our right backs after Shaka, after Jorge Sanchez, it's completely up in the air who could potentially take over that backup role, maybe even the number 2 role, maybe even the number 1 role, if we're being honest. And I think he has a good chance of being a key player for Mexico. So shout out to him. And also, yeah, I want to ask you, Amy, because you've been keeping an eye on him, the Galaxy, because I feel like I feel like he has like I feel like he has like a lot of energy whenever I've seen him, and like he does a lot of defensive work and likes to push up. But other than that, I could just say some numbers, but I feel like you've actually seen him more frequently.
Yeah, I think he has a lot of fight in him, which is really good. I think that there's actually in the LA Galaxy world, or kind of lingering into the Mexican soccer world, there's been some like comparisons between him and Julian Araujo as far as how they develop as young players, right? And I think when it comes to obviously they play different positions.
Julian, you mean Efrain or
Efrain? What did I say?
You said Julian Araujo.
No, it is Julian Araujo.
I'm saying that comparing the two sometimes when it comes to the LA Galaxy Mexico, like Mexican soccer discourse, and they compare them from two different angles. For LA Galaxy, it's about their developments as young players. And then from the Mexican standpoint, it's like, oh, well, who's a more prospective Mexican player kind of thing. Right. And obviously they play different positions, but the kind of general sense is that Julian does have more fight, and he does seem to be more matured when it comes to how he plays as a player, obviously, right? With Galaxy, there are a lot of more challenges from a defensive standpoint than from an attacking standpoint. So there's that aspect. But I think that I really liked the article that Felipe Cardenas was able to do with The Athletic, where, you kind of understand him. And yes, it's a little bit more biased because he's talking about why he prefers Mexico or the US. And we're into that, right? Our demographic favors that kind of discussion. But I like how he said, I do push up and pull back within the way that I play, but I prefer to defend more. And I feel like with Mexico, there's more opportunities in that area, speaking to Tata and all that stuff. So yeah, it's just about, obviously we've also seen him against Mexican prospects in that sense when it comes to, the Olympic qualifiers and everything. And you see that there's still room for improvement, but there is potential and there's no denying that. And I think that's where the interest between both national teams, whether you're a fan, a media, or even the coaching staff, you look at that and you go, I want that in my team because of that middle ground of potential where he can move forward and stuff like that. So yeah.
And he's still just 20 years old too. This isn't like someone who's in their mid 20s. This is someone who's still fairly young. And I do like that you brought up that piece from Felipe, because it is quite good. And he talks about in his conversation with that like Amy said, also, I mean, it's always cool to hear a player, talking about the cultural connection, till 3 with his family, and they all grew up watching the Mexican national team. So I think for a lot of us, you kind of like feel that connection as Mexican Americans and be like, oh, cool. Like you're kind of like us. Like you grew up watching all 3, but you grew up over here in the US, and now he's going to get an opportunity to play for the national team. I expect him to get, not the call up. Obviously he can't play in these upcoming World Cup qualifiers, but you do have that friendly on the 27th where it looks more than likely like he'll get an opportunity for that friendly.
I also thought that article was interesting because something that stood out to me that Felipe actually follows up with in because he did a Q&A, so his question obviously in formatted way, but he was talking about the qualifiers, and he was talking about how even though obviously from the US standpoint it didn't work out the way that he wanted it to, he liked being in Mexico because he felt like he I guess he just kind of edited, kind of verbatim from what Julian said, but he's like, I can't explain it. But when I went to Mexico, obviously we didn't win, and that's unfortunate, but I felt good being there. Like he's like, I can't explain it, but there's something that that really stuck out to me that I felt good about that. So, again, it caters to us. We like the way this sounds, but
the food,
it was I mean, and then maybe it could be circumstantial in that sense too, but I thought it was a very good point that he made, or, kind of.
I think it was just the food.
The Olympic qualifier. Was that out in Guadalajara? He's like,
yeah,
I dig this.
Great. Yeah. Tortas ahogadas. He ate them. He's like, if there's something about this place, it's cheap. I'm good to go. No, obviously it's a win for Mexico. When you look at depth, I don't like having those conversations where he would have a better shot because Mexico doesn't have that great. I feel like sometimes we're too quick to judge, to be like this person, because there could be a right back, left back that we could be like, we're just not noticing that's in the league too. So great, earn your spot, get there, give him a chance, and see where it's at. He obviously chose this route, even though he played for the U.S. I don't necessarily think that they're stacked on the U.S. side when Dest is, their main person, and I still don't think he's that great of a player. So he's in a great team, but every time I see Dest, I don't necessarily. So I guess to him, I think it comes down to the heart. I think he says it in his message. Obviously you're not going to say, "Oh, I had a better opportunity with another team," but he's there, so it's.
I think that's fair too. I mean, like, I think it's fair to also be. I think it could go both ways. I think he can have a very strong connection to his culture, and obviously because of his family, and like, I think it's fair for him to feel that way, but to also look at Mexico and be like, man, that right back position, like they really lack some depth there, and I know that I could do a lot, like have more of an impact there than the U.S.
But even then, I don't know. Like, we're looking at the Mexican League, and then you're looking at MLS and the U.S. Like, sure, we might have Chaka in the national team, but it's a pretty high standard of where we're at. Like, I don't necessarily think that he comes in to become the third person, before. Like, I think there's
we had Gata playing as right back in a recent game, so I think that says a lot.
Gata did well. Is Gata better than? I mean, is Julian better than Gata? No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's what we're talking about.
I think it's betting on his potential. Like, is he better than them? No, but I think when you look at what he does with with like a troubling Galaxy, and he fights a lot, I think that's where you go, okay.
But that's what I'm saying. I think he could do the same for the U.S. though. There are a lot of people are saying this one hurt. Like, this is like he could have gotten a good. Like I'm saying, I don't necessarily get as far as depth. Pepe, completely different, right? Mm-hmm. Pepe started in a World Cup qualifier in a game where they needed him, and there's nobody else after him. Like, Pepe rose right to the front. Right. So you understand the reason when Greg says you could start in a World Cup qualifier if you come to one of these 3 games. We need you that bad. Right. And of course, I'm sure talked to Pepe, and I'm sure talked to everyone and said, you know what? There's Jimenez, there's Funes Mori, there's a list of people before we can even bring you in there. And you haven't had any experience with the national team. So I could understand there. But when I look at Julian Araujo, he could be a starter in a few years for the U.S. So
of course, yeah.
And again, we never know. It's a really, really hard decision, but I think we respect it. If he didn't choose it, just like when Pepe chose, Mexico, great, good job. It's cool to see a Mexican American thriving somewhere else, right? I really like what Greg said to Julian and in his, like, I guess, farewell. It was kind of like, do well, but don't do well against the U.S. I hope you miss and all the passes or whatever else. That was pretty cool. So you're starting to see now, maybe in these last 2 people that have said, they chose one team over the other, you're starting to see more people being like, good job. I don't know if that's how you kind of saw it. There's still those idiots that traitor, whatever. But cool. They chose it. And even when Pepe said, hey, you can still come back and play for Mexico, I think it's 2 full games or something like that where you have to make the one-time switch and all that. So that's awesome. I think the more players that we have stacked, just like you said, that is better for Mexico. And we'll see what other players start. We had David Ochoa, Pepe, Julian Araujo, and I think there's some more, right?
There's Jonathan Gomez. There's his brother. There's his brother too, I think, who plays for Porto.
There's somebody was talking about. They started liking all of Julian Araujo's posts. I saw it on Twitter today. and it was another player that potentially could play for Mexico. Anyways, so I think this is going to be an ongoing conversation, and for those if there are Mexican players, Mexican Americans that pick the U.S., dude, it's their decision, and I don't think we should be angry. Again, I don't.
Yeah, it's
think
their
that
careers.
there's
It's
been
not our careers.
Yeah.
You know, it's their careers. You gotta respect.
Someone's
that.
saying no right here. Richie Ledesma.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Kai 718 is saying Richie Ledesma. All right. So there you go. If you didn't see it, here it is one more time. My heart is with Mexico. Si se puede. And that little tidbit too, coming from a family of farm workers, I was instilled with the value of hard work. That's pretty powerful. I like it.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to like read up about like how he supports farm workers' rights and how like due to his like connections with his family, like he genuinely is like a really good dude, and it's kind of cool that way he's now joining the Mexican national team sub. And like if you haven't had a chance yet, like I want to say there are a couple different articles written about him and supporting farm workers' rights and whatnot. But yeah, obviously he comes from a very good background, and I don't know, it'll be really cool to have him on the Mexican national team setup.
He also creates a very interesting discussion, which I don't think we have a lot on the women's side, but we don't have it enough on the men's side when it comes to like this dual national, like kind of dedication to like both countries in a sense, right? They're still playing for the Mexican national team, but they do have this very strong connection. I mean, even if it was meant to be kind of like a complaint or something, it was like, he speaks really good English, or he speaks very good, or he can, we don't know his level. I haven't actually heard him speak too much Spanish. I think I heard a little bit in the LA Galaxy profile that they did today, but like that, right? So he does have a very similar kind of relationship that we all have with like immigrant parents. And I know he's done a lot of stuff, like you said, for field workers. He also I can't remember the exact thing that he did, but he pushed like during the pandemic to like help raise like money and stuff for people. So it's like a very interesting, right? Like first generation kind of thing where you go like, I respect this kid because he understands the struggle of like our parents and what they've done. And I think that there's a lot of storytelling aspects from the national team that you can definitely work 100%. In there as well, that I think would be cool. That would obviously connect to a lot of us or even younger kids that are kind of like him as well. And of course, he's from California, so there's
Southern California, yeah.
Southern California.
Yeah.
As a Canadian, we ourselves are sort of worried about losing Marcelo Flores to Mexico, although he is an odd cat. You're gonna lose him.
You can say it, Arsenal.
Vincent, you're gonna lose him. Sorry, buddy. Like it's a stretch to see if it's Canada. I think his dad, his sister already plays for the national team. I don't think he can say he fully can commit, but it looks like he's going to play for.
I don't know. The Flores kids are everywhere. They choose their own journey, so who knows where he's going to be.
He's going to score on us when he plays.
Anybody else not? For England. The Flores kid did not play for Mexico?
Yeah.
His sister plays for Mexico.
His sister plays for the U.S. The other sister.
Oh, is his sister plays for the U.S.?
Mm-hmm. And then there's the younger sister.
Does she play for England?
I think she plays for England. Yeah, so they're all over the place.
Never mind, I take that back. No, he'll play for Mexico.
Yeah, I think I was more worried about Marcelo Flores when he was kind of like looking at different opportunities, but I feel like in recent months it's looking like he's like leaning more towards Mexico, so that's cool.
He was just with the call up. I think he scored a golazo too.
Yeah.
I think in the recent call up. All right. Well, let's talk. Hey everyone, let's get ready for my 22nd birthday and date with Canada this Thursday because it's going to be Raul.
Tejan Buchanan.
It's gonna be good. Let's talk about Canada. We're here, but before we do that, the call up, Cesar.
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people that I cannot see. Right?
I think
four goalkeepers once again, continuing because it's the 3 dates. Is what I'm told. You have 4 goalkeepers. One against Lesionado. You have to have 3. There's 3 games. Really fast turnaround. I don't think people understand how intense it is. I think Memo Ochoa was saying it, 3 games, even for him as a keeper, right? It's intense for that week. But yeah, in the call up, what are your, we didn't get to really discuss, but some notable misses there, I think, for whatever reason.
Yeah, so 28 players. I think what's notable actually is just the players who came back. Chucky is back. Hector Moreno's back. Ache is back. In theory, you can say Jimenez is back, even though he was in the last call, but looks like he'll actually get minutes now. No Tiba, no Pizarro, no Alvarado, no Avion Ramirez, no Santi Jimenez. So for the most part, it's kind of like the strong core that you had from last time, except now with Moreno, with Ache, you could even say in theory with Chucky, there's a little bit more experience here, and Mexico looks to be a little bit closer to being at full strength. So I think the question is, does Mexico play with their best against Canada, because this game against Canada is going to be the most difficult one in these upcoming few games, or do they kind of spread out their starters a little bit more? And I would personally think that they would go for their best against Canada. Maybe
I think they are.
Maybe I would say maybe there's one or two players that you would drop. Maybe in Ache, maybe I don't know, maybe someone in the defense. But I think that I'm expecting that to go to close with this best 11 in this upcoming game, and we'll see what Canada throw against Mexico too.
Obviously some people that are not there, that people wish that they were there. Why did I just forget his kid? In Belgium, que está vetado.
Arteaga? Yeah,
Arteaga,
there's
right.
Yeah.
Arteaga said that he's taking some time off. People are saying that the whole ongoing chat with Chicharito, even though he's there, but it is what it is.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I think people are like, oh, it's like, is Trophies because he's doing a good job with the Earthquakes? Is he going to get an opportunity? I would honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Trophies on the call for the 27th. It's going to happen.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. What the qualifiers, especially in the front with Raul is back, you don't need Trophies. Like,
you wouldn't start Trophies in all 3 games against Canada, Honduras, El Salvador? No, that's not what.
Johan Vasquez. I'm actually excited to see Johan Vasquez come in the back, and it'll be interesting to see what lineup we start seeing in the defense, because it's been changing a whole lot. So your back 4, who to beat, Cesar?
I would go with so I think Gallardo at left back. I think that's a little bit of an easier one. Right back, just because of what Alphonso Davies can do. I think Shaka is a little bit better defensively than Jorge Sanchez, so I would have Shaka back there. And then as the 2 central defenders, I think as long as Moreno isn't there, I like Moreno, but I think he would get, I don't know, demolished on some of these counters by Canada. So I think maybe someone with a little bit more pace, like Araujo and Montes, is how I would start with in the back. But I think that's what I would go with if I was Tata.
We'll talk about it a little bit more. I know you're coming to Canada, but for some reason I'm thinking Moreno's going to come back, and Moreno, Araujo, Chaka, and Gallardo. I think experience. It's going with that, and giving Gallardo a little bit more of a, that role. So I think that's the 4 we'll be at. But all right, you also mentioned no Pulido, no Pizarro. It's like finally it took how many games to, especially Pizarro, for
Jonah's the only MLS player on the roster, I think.
Oh, really? I somehow missed that. Really, he's the only MLS
player. Jonathan and Antuna, no?
And Tuna left the MLS like 2 seasons ago, man. Put some respect on his game. He's with Chivas right now, flourishing.
I think the thing is that I thought you said Antuna, and I'm like, Antuna? wait, no, Jonathan is on there too. Now, wait a second.
Yeah, I skimmed it over really quickly. But yeah, I think Jonah's the only player, because Efrain's obviously not there, Pizarro's not there, Pulido's not there, which is, I for one, I know I like to banter, but it's obviously clearly a step in the right direction. I mean, honestly, the conversation could even be had who Jonah would be replaced with in the foreseeable future, because it's not like he's not a bad player, and obviously he's one of Tata's reoccurring call-ups, but it's not like he's in pristine condition. I mean, at Tráfico this past weekend, he looked kind of tired pretty early on, like not super early on, but you do start having that. You go, okay, this is good, because clearly they're not in tip-top shape, but even Jonah, who is getting decent playing time, is not at his full potential. So I don't know if he's going to bring, I mean, who knows how much playing time he gets in these games, but I think there's a discussion that needs to be had there as well.
I mean, at the very least, I mean, you got to have some rotation, just with the short amount of time that you have here with these 3 games. You definitely need to have some rotation. So yeah, even though I said I think Mexico's going to go with their pretty strong 11 in the first game, but after that they really have to mix things up, because you can't you can't, risk having some of these players get injuries and they go back to their club side and what if they don't find good form? And then suddenly you have the November games too. So, I mean, once again, we've talked about it, but it's just Tata's going to have to find a right balance here between these 3 games. But I do think he's going to go quite strong in that game against Canada.
Can't believe you thought it too.
I said 2. So Canada's coming up. As you know, here are the standings before we come in. Mexico with 7 points. Canada with 5 points. USA 5 points. Panama 5 points. Costa Rica, Honduras, El Salvador, and Jamaica. Before we talk about the CONCACAF schedule we have, this is where we're at. First game against Canada, we've already kind of mentioned it. Alphonso Davies, the best CONCACAF player. I mean, he is absurd just how amazing this player is. And it's definitely going to be, I think, going to give us headaches, facing the quality. I think when's the last time that Mexico as a team faced such a player, right? In fact, can you think of the last player before Alphonso Davies that Mexico was just like, that is better than every Mexican player, right? That's on our team as far as what they've done and what they've done with the Champions League. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be a true test, and that's always great. I think Alfonso ran circles around the U.S., and that's, they were able to get that tie. Now Canada comes in. As much as I like to have a big head, I think it's going to be a tough match.
Yeah.
Because Mexico is coming back. We don't necessarily know what to expect, especially with, I think, Raul Jimenez and Chucky Lozano will start. I think that trident that we want to see with Tecatito Corona, we're going to get to see, which is when's the last time that we saw those 3?
Yeah, I was trying to think about that. I was trying to think when was the last time we saw those 3 together.
We saw it one time.
I really do hope though against Canada we do get to see those 3 start up top and do some damage, because like you said, Davies can definitely do some damage to Mexico, and we got to keep in mind too, like when Mexico when they won 2-1 against Canada in the Gold Cup.
Because everybody thinks they lost.
No, it was a close match. I think you got to give credit to Canada for that game, but Canada didn't have Jonathan David then. They didn't have Alphonso Davies in that team. Mm-hmm. I'm not expecting Canada to now, with those players, to suddenly be attack-minded and to really control possession. I still think that they're probably be pretty defensive. And I mean, we saw what they did against the U.S. in World Cup qualifying and tried to sit back a bit more and then try to hit the U.S. on counters. I think they're going to do that. But this is going to be an improved Canada from the one that Mexico faced during the Gold Cup.
It's the best Canada that Mexico's ever faced.
Let's improve Mexico from the one we saw in the last qualifier.
That's for sure. Amy, what do you expect from this game from Mexico and obviously with Canada?
I'm sorry, I keep my mouth shut. I don't get big-headed about these things, so I'm just going to go ahead and hope for the best. It's going to be my prediction for this game.
I think it's Mexico's going to win, but it's going to be tough.
What do you expect from Mexico? At least I'm not saying this is what's going to happen.
Oh, it'll definitely be a better. Hopefully, in theory, it should be a much better game, right? I think the camaraderie aspect is something that shouldn't be taken lightly, right? I think with Raul back, with Chucky back, I think there's going to be something there where, just from an emotional standpoint, the team's probably going to feel better, right? They didn't look bad, terrible, but it was obviously a different Mexico that we were used to in such an important game. So I think having everybody there, being able to trust each other and have the best possible lineup you can have for this game, I think that'll build some kind of emotional aspect outside of just the tactical thing. So it'll be a better game for sure, I think.
Also, last time Mexico had Chucky, Jimenez, and Tecatito all start in the same game, that was November 14th of last year in a 3-2 win over South Korea. And Jimenez had a goal in that one. And the LA Galaxy's Antuna. I mean, Chivas' Antuna had a goal in that game too.
Was even Chivas back by then? Let's look at some numbers. Head to head, Mexico has won 5 straight meetings and is unbeaten. Yeah, I did some homework, Amy. Meetings and unbeaten in 9 straight meetings, 7 wins, 2 draws. Last losing in February 2000, a 2-1 Canada win in the Gold Cup quarterfinals in San Diego. Look at all these stats. Mexico has never lost in 15 home games versus Canada, scoring out 45-4. And winning 9 straight games since 1-1 draw in the Azteca in 1980. I think that was had to have been a friendly.
As far as Arsenal fandom goes, I don't like when people start saying this has never happened in 20 years. And
no, but okay, let's. I hate when people say that, but at the same time, it would be disastrous. I mean, catastrophic if Canada gets a win in the like.
Would it be disastrous?
I don't think it'd be disastrous.
It would be. It would be.
Yeah, the front
That's
page,
one thing
front page
that
news will say fracaso, but like
it will be a fracaso. Like it losing in the Azteca in World Cup qualifying
we have a
is the worst.
sensationalist finally back on the show.
It is the worst thing that can happen. Maybe you don't remember in 2013 Honduras Aztecaso. I'm just saying. Like, losing at home in World Cup qualifying is the only prideful thing we can say in CONCACAF, right? We can say we don't lose at home during World Cup qualifying.
I think it'd be if I mean, obviously it is in theory like traditionally Mexico are like powerhouses at home. They don't lose at the Azteca, but if Mexico were to lose this one, but then okay, how about this? Like, would it still be a failure of a World Cup qualifying month? I'm saying if Canada beat Mexico and then Mexico defeats Honduras and El Salvador, is it still like, oh, what a terrible that month?
It is. We should not lose.
We should not lose
against any team. Yes, it would be losing against Canada in the Azteca. That's another country. It's more of a pride thing. Like, you have to come into it sometimes and being like, hey, this is what we expect. This is your home, right? You go to the U.S., you play friendlies, you go in the World Cup, whatever. But in your home, no matter who it is, playing in the Azteca, the U.S. actually be kind of funny if Canada does win because the U.S. has never won. But if Canada can win, there goes the rest of the qualifiers. Like, right? I'm just throwing it out there. Yes, a tie, I'd be upset. We need the 3 points tomorrow. I think a tie can happen because we've seen how the Azteca's going, and it's the 68th minute. Again, we haven't even talked about it. 75% full. The Azteca is going to be tomorrow. The altitude, right? There's a reason why the best teams can't get a result, the Azteca, and it's perfect for tomorrow. We have all of our players. We have players that have just Chucky and Raul are coming together after scoring, after assist. Like, what we have tomorrow, we should be able to get that win. I think it's going to be hard, just like when someone said here, right? Definitely going to be a tough match. Mexico typically struggles against teams with pace over the field. At least is my opinion. I think you're correct. Canada is fast. Those set pieces are going to be scary, right?
Yeah. And also, before we confuse everybody, the game is on Thursday, right? Just making sure.
Sorry.
I said that earlier, but you just went ahead with this. So I was like, am I losing my mind? I was like, Wednesday. And this is a so sorry. And then I'm just sitting here like, no, I clearly wrote it down.
Just to make sure.
October 7th. And then this
Thursday.
was like, oh,
I thought I was already. It's because I thought Monday. It was definitely Wednesday already because
this is what happens.
You're traveling through time. Apparently, actually, you're going to be in the future soon. Anyway, so
this is what happens when you do the Mexican soccer show on Tuesdays.
Yes, it's usually. I was like, all right, I think we're going to do it the day before. I apologize. Yes, it's Thursday.
What was that in all your research?
Anyway, fire Tata if we lose on Thursday.
No, okay.
We lose the Gold Cup. We lose against the U.S. in the final, and we lose in the Azteca against Canada.
What will be interesting though is that this could be the first World Cup qualifier at the Azteca with fans, and we talked about this with Carlos.
God.
Just like, but like, is that how is that gonna go? How is like you would think that like. I think a lot of people are like, oh, there's a big home field advantage for Mexico. There could be a bunch of people in the stands. Like,
I think it will.
If it's 0-0 at halftime,
nature will be healing,
I don't think,
and you'll get fans booing.
No, I think
God intended.
I think there could be booing. I think if Mexico's playing like crap, and I mean like crap, right? And you're seeing it's 75th minute. I think 0-0 at halftime. You know, it happens.
Well, that almost happened. I mean. Wasn't that the commentary during the game against Jamaica? Like, thank goodness there's no fans right now.
Yeah, that's
but that was after. But that was after losing into the United States in the Gold Cup. Like, it was bad, and then like we were expecting that very first game against Jamaica, and it was like if there were fans. Now it's different. Mexico had 7 points out of the 9. Mexico had 2 very hard away games to start off this qualifiers, right? So when we were looking into it, this is before going into Costa Rica. Now we know Costa Rica is not the Costa Rica we know, but still going to Costa Rica was not like it's a for sure win. Going into Honduras, Honduras. Panama.
Mexico. So we're
Panama.
Mexico is going to be
Panama,
hosting
Panama,
Canada.
Panama. Going into Panama.
They're hosting Canada. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Going into Panama in the first three game, we're like, all right, and we tied against Panama, right? We got 7 out of the 9 points. We're the only team that got wins. No losses.
I just don't think a lot of those. I don't think a lot of those fans are gonna be like crunching numbers like in that. Like, no, we got. I think. I think a lot of those fans are just gonna be like, yeah, and bring out their advocates. I just say advocates.
They're excited. Now, did I miss you all discussing Amy's favorite cousin being snubbed from the national team? Chofis. Yes, we already discussed it.
He'll be there in the 27th.
I brought it up for no reason.
He's gonna get a hat. He's gonna get a hat trick just like he did for the Quakes.
It'd be really cool if like a Lopez. No, it's never gonna happen. Chicha's never gonna play. Chofis is never gonna play, and only Johan Vazquez.
What is this negative
our last names? We're going with our last names
for the Mexican national team. Like
I said, I'm going with our distant cousins, Chofis, Lopez playing, while Chicharito Hernandez for Cesar Hernandez, and Juan Vazquez playing for Mexico. Like those.
No, I don't claim Chofis. I do not claim Chofis.
Is there a Marshall
family in your blood claims.
Is there a Marshall out there?
Is there a Marshall?
There will be for the women's national team.
That's true. That's true.
Well, if England doesn't take.
It's gonna be a Marcelo Flores situation.
Plays for Chivas, but plays in England. But plays for England.
Hey, would that technically be allowed?
Yeah, just like I met some Chivas fans that go for the U.S.
That's Varro. Don't talk about Varro. He just came on the chat.
Varro's on right now. Varro, I know you don't go. It's a joke going on. He doesn't go for the U.S. Like
no, Varro's actually going to be passing that torch soon. So
no, he doesn't. Varro, I know you don't root for the U.S. But we'll see.
But yeah, but I think long story short,
but then we'll take whatever we can get.
Long story short, I think Mexico, they're going to have a difficult time against Canada. I think the fans are going to also. I think it's going to be 0-0 at halftime. I think the fans are going to not go easy on them and actually like boo them heavily and start to do of course like the negative whistles against them. I think Mexico's going to end up winning this like 1-0 thanks to like a goal. I think maybe from like Jimenez or maybe Chucky, but I think it's going to be really tough.
Could it surprise you Mexico winning like 4-0? Chucky goes off. Yeah. Raul is back. Canada completely scared. The fact that players got in yesterday at the Azteca, like playing with 75% full in the altitude. I don't know if the smog thing is there anymore. I know that's what people used to be talking about. It was raining in Mexico City, so maybe that helped. But could it surprise you? Minute 1 goal, and it's just 4-0, and we're like, okay.
That'd be awesome, but this is a Canada side that have only allowed 2 goals so far in World Cup qualifying. I know they haven't gone up against a side like Mexico just yet, especially for them to go away against Mexico, so it's going to be different. But I think with Canada, I don't think it's going to be very easy.
Canada played Honduras, which they lost some points at home against Honduras. They played the U.S., and they played El Salvador at home.
I think only allowing 2 goals during that run isn't too bad. Mexico's in the same setup right now. Mexico's also only allowed 2 goals. I don't think they're going to be. I mean, it'd be an absolutely fun game if they were to throw some numbers forward, and I don't know, like maybe as opposed to like a 5-4-1 to be like more like a 3-4-3 and really take their chance up there, but. I just can't see them doing that. I don't know why, especially playing away. I don't know why they would give Mexico so much space. So I think
the U.S., Mexico. A lot of people have only allowed 2 goals, Andrew.
Yeah, but they're still one of those teams.
Yeah. No, I see it. Again, I think the danger is going to be Alphonso Davies. That's it. I'm not saying the others aren't, but that's when we know, especially in that phase. So let's talk about the next 2 games. So Mexico, okay, first of all, how many points? 7 and 9. Do we agree?
For these, I'm gonna go with 7.
Yeah, I'll go 7.
I think they're going to beat Canada. They're going to beat Honduras, and then they're going to get a tie against El Salvador because they won't have their best 11 against El Salvador. I think like they're going to rotate a bit and have a few backups there who might struggle a bit away at Salvador. Yeah.
Joanna Sanchez, hello, welcome. I fear Mexico going to drop some points against Canada. Joanna, you're always like very scared during all this time. I remember.
And you are too confident. You're getting too confident.
I'm not.
You get off your high horse.
It's not that I'm confident. Is that's what we expect in World Cup qualifying. Now, you asked me about the U.S. I'm not saying.
Cup and we almost lost, or we almost didn't win.
We did lose.
We were supposed to win again. There are things that I know I'm confident for, things that were supposed to happen, right? Like we should have won those games. We could have won those games. So we'll see. Giovanna's saying hi. All right. 5 is acceptable. No, that means 2 wins. I mean, a win and 2 ties. A win at the Azteca. You tie against Honduras in the Azteca. No. There's like, I'd rather lose. I'd rather lose in Cuscatlan than get a tie in the Azteca.
That wouldn't be surprised. That wouldn't be surprised. So what would we say is the minimum? What is the minimum that they need to get here where we feel like, all right, this is fine. Like this is
7.
7?
After anything below 7, I'm not saying fire tata, but it depends on the way it is. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
but they had it.
So stern. What?
You are not satisfied with anything today.
No, I said I'm satisfied with 7 points.
Gun blazing.
Mexico, would you?
Tata out.
Tata out.
No, Send Antuna back to the galaxy.
Send Antuna back to the galaxy.
That's the last over.
Move the game to Wednesday. Everything.
Game is tomorrow. Anything lower than 5, we suck. 5 would suck. Oh, sorry. Anything lower than 5? No. All right.
5 is not great.
Yeah.
I don't want, for the record, I don't want 5. All I'm saying is that those below us have 5, right? And people came out of that satisfied. I'm not saying that we should.
Wait, what?
The standings, don't they have 5?
It doesn't matter.
We have 7. No, I'm just saying, like as far as averages go, 5 isn't terrible. I'm not saying I want 5.
It is terrible.
I'm just saying for you to be like, this is the end.
It's not the end, but it's bad. If Mexico drops points at home against these teams, it is bad. The only team that we may be able to drop points is the U.S., and that's still bad. This is World Cup qualifying. And so now I would rather get the 2 wins. If you get 5,
you're at 12, and that's assuming. Let's just assume, even if the other teams get 5 or whatever, like
you don't drop points at home. That's what it comes down to. You have to drop points at home.
Okay, what about this? Say Mexico gets a good
I'm basing my response off of you saying that everything must crash and burn at the expense of 5 points being accumulated, which again, I don't want to happen, but you're saying,
but it's pretty bad if we tie 2 games at home.
Depends on how it works out, but you're making it sound like it's the end on be all if they.
It's not. No, we're still gonna. I think we still go to the World Cup, but big dangers. Look at the players we have. Look at the roster we have. Look at the players. They're in form. They're playing. They're scoring up front.
They also haven't. I mean, the other excuse. It's not an excuse, but the other thing is like they also haven't played together in a long time.
Oh, but Chucky. I mean, they play with the national team, so I don't think that's why. If there would be a problem with them. We'll see how they start. I think all 3 of them start. I think Chucky and Raul starts. So
I'm sorry, this is
I love watching Cesar go into an island of Zen whenever we send and really go at it.
The best part is it's off. It's like off camera.
A lot. It just happens a lot.
I just kind of like look out the window.
It really happens. All right.
Mexico
gets a tie against Honduras.
I went to my island of Zen. I had some discussions with some people at the island of Zen. We came.
And what did they come back and tell you? What is an acceptable number of points to accumulate according to the island people? Cesar?
I think at the
where would you get upset? That's the question.
I think 5 and below is upset.
Thank you.
6 and above.
Okay, how about this? Eating popcorn with 5, we're good.
No, I'm not eating popcorn with 5, but you're like, oh, everything like must burn like at 5, and I'm just like,
losing points at home.
We accumulated.
So is it okay? What if Mexico gets a big win against Canada, gets a big win against Honduras, and then it's a narrow loss?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's where. Yes, if we lose in the Cuscatlan, it's okay. Okay, I'm not gonna say it's okay, but I would rather lose it in El Salvador than get
What if it's a bad? Okay, what if it's a bad loss? Like win, and then
we still win the 2,
and
we got the 6 points.
Like that noise.
I feel
and
like
we got and we have the 2. What happened?
Oh, it just sound like she's about to throw up or something.
I'm just saying. Well, let me ask everybody in the audience right now.
But I was like, what is that?
All the 21 people watching right now, would you rather lose in El Salvador or get a tie at home? Let's see what people have to say. Let's see what,
because you're not even saying loss. Like, obviously a loss, I agree with you, but you're like, a tie is like.
No, a tie in the Azteca during World Cup qualifying versus this Honduras that gave up 4 goals in the second half against the U.S. 4, 3, a lot of goals to Pepe. Like, that's what I'm saying. This Honduras.
This says a lot about the high expectations that we still have, like for 03, and I think
in World Cup qualifying,
still has high expectations.
Yeah, I think
I have high expectations for. I have high expectations for World Cup qualifying. Once we get to the World Cup, quinto partido. As of right now, I don't know.
Right. Just get out of the group stage at that point.
Right now, I don't think we can get out of the group stage. I'll be honest. I even tweeted that out. Right. So wait, the question was: would you rather lose in El Salvador or get a tie? See, Joanna's saying lose in El Salvador.
Yeah.
Joanna, that's not the answer.
No, but what I'm saying is,
she just wants to bring more chaos. She's like, you know what? I saw Ana sent Cesar back to his island of Zen. I'm just gonna bring more chaos.
We'll see. All right. Hey,
how many points do you think they're gonna get?
9. I'm going. I think. And the last phase, I said they were going to get 7. So I think it's going to be 9. I think it's going to be hard. Don't get me wrong. I think that the easiest game that we have is the Honduras game. I don't think Honduras is in a good spot. I think Canada is going to be tough, but I think we should be able
but then you're like, they're going to win like 4-0.
Yeah, no. I said, does it surprise you if Mexico all of a sudden, like, it wouldn't surprise me if Mexico wins 3-0. Like, oh, you're right. Mexico's back in the Azteca qualifier against a Canada that, sure, they have good players, but one player does not define the whole team. That defense is, I'm not saying that it's the greatest defense in CONCACAF, right? Franco Torres lose in El Salvador. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's because it's World Cup qualifying that pride that you have to win at home. And when was the last time we tied in a World Cup qualifying against a team?
And I guess to be fair, I think when you look at the November schedule and you see that Mexico's going to play the United States away, they're going to play against Canada away, and then to kick off 2022, they're going to play Jamaica away. So that does kind of put a little more pressure on the team right now to push for. I guess you could even say like 9 points right here. And like
this is the time we can get 9 points.
Not only defeating Canada and Honduras, but also getting a win against El Salvador here could be crucial, because if they have a poor October, things can get real rough by November by having those 2 away games. So for those number crunchers in the Azteca with their abacus, and we're like, oh wait, hold on, like
wait, they're not primitive.
There's only abacus.
Right.
I made the joke about the abacus earlier today, so yeah.
So when you're looking, and that's exactly my point, Cesar, because those 9 points are going to be crucial. Now, you asked me, what do I expect Mexico against the U.S. and Mexico against Canada? 4 points, 3 points is okay. Those are tough games. It's going to be tough playing in Canada. It's going to be even tougher playing in Cincinnati. But what I'm saying is, I'm not such a big-headed. I think 4 points, sign it. I would do it. A tie against Canada and a win against the U.S., or a win against Canada and a tie against the U.S., I'm good, right? It could be 2 losses. It's difficult playing away. Yeah. It could be. Yeah. Is it the end of the world if we lose? No, it's not, because that's where World Cup qualifying is all about, winning at home. Yeah. People are saying Canada will be real interesting. I still can't believe Panama beat up on Jamaica.
That was surprising.
And just need to finish in the top 3.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have that mentality. I have that mentality too, which is like, I think it's inevitable. We're going to run into some issues at some point when you're looking at the schedule, and it just what matters the most is just finishing with that top three. It'd be great if we were if Mexico was at the number one spot. I'm still not entirely sure if they're going to finish at number one spot, but it's just finishing within those top three. It doesn't have to be perfect the entire way. We could see some more, even though it looks like Tata has his core players. It does look like we can see some more players being incorporated into this system. But yeah, I think once again, as long as they're in the top three,
we get 9 points. That's 16 points. We're almost there qualifying. Another 4 points, and we're in.
Is that the magic number now? Is that everybody saying
it's like
21?
21, 20, right? That's what I'm saying.
Is that for the top four or top three though?
Top three.
Okay.
Top three. I think that's what Carlos and when we're saying that. So it's 9 points gets a foot in there, and those 9 points are going to be crucial. And I think if we're looking at how to get those 9 points the easiest on any of the dates, it's going to be this one. It's going to be hard. Don't get me wrong, but we got 7 points without our best players now. That we have our best players, we could get 9 points. I believe Canada is going to be our toughest test. Football Kings saying it. Thank you, Football Kings.
Football Kings. Oh, that's quite the name.
It's true. Our best players are there. When we look at who we're facing on last and we're facing now, I think the last date was harder, right? I think going to Costa Rica, going to Panama, playing Jamaica at home, that was our easiest game. Yeah, we did struggle. But
I think recognizing that Canada's a bit harder. I'm tempted to say that it's close, just because of going up against Canada. But I think what makes the difference here, and what makes it, maybe you could make the argument it's a little bit easier for Mexico, or like at least on paper, is that they have the two games at home to start off the month
with fans.
Yeah. Which we'll see if that gives them an advantage or not.
I'm serious. Is that a good or is it a bad thing at this point?
No. I think ultimately it is good, and I'll tell you why. The fans, although let's say it's not going well, they're going to go against Mexico, but they're still not going to be like loving Canada. It's not like if there's fans there, Canadians are like, hey, all right, cool, our fans are there.
I feel like there's a lot of pent up energy there that we haven't been like we've been fortunate not to have to see in Mexico. I mean, we've had to experience some things in the U.S. with Gold Cup and various different tournaments around here over the summer, but we haven't felt the full force of
Mexico has had people in their stadiums for Liga MX.
And we also have to bring up
but that's Liga MX, and then the Femenil is entirely different. So supportive kind of clan stuff there. So we have not seen at all what the Azteca with the men's side post pandemic. I think overall these initiatives is going to be.
It's going to be hard for Canada. I'll tell you that. When you say isn't it an advantage, the fact that it's going to be hard for Canada with that many people and these players are not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's ultimately it's going to be hard for Canada with that many people. This in the Azteca, the altitude. I mean,
and fingers crossed that the goalkeeper chant doesn't return either, because that's
what I'm saying.
That's something we do.
Is it a good or is it a bad thing? Because I think that there's almost I feel like there's almost like a childlike kind of want to protest in that sense, like where it's like, oh, they're gonna tell us not to do it, we're gonna do it.
We just paid.
Yeah, right. It doesn't make.
We just paid all this money for us to. Why don't we maximize our home field advantage and play these games in midday in Mexico City like we used to? Ratings.
Yeah, I guess.
I understand. Yeah. All right, let's talk about what games are happening in all around CONCACAF and see what you guys think. On the October match date, as you see here, Mexico versus Canada, we talked about Honduras, Costa Rica, El Salvador versus Panama, and USA versus Jamaica on the very first game. Honestly think USA will win. And let's talk about US. US faces Jamaica. They face Panama in Panama, and then US faces Costa Rica in the United States. I'm sensing 6-7 points for the US on this round. Right?
Yeah. I haven't read any reports from today, but last I saw, Pulisic and Gio Reyna are going to be unavailable for the U.S. men's national team, so that's going to make things difficult for their attack. And I'm also curious by Jamaica. I feel like they still have a lot more to offer with some of those new names they've been that they've brought in. I can't imagine they'll struggle as much as they have throughout the entire World Cup qualifying cycle with some of those new faces that they've been trying to incorporate in. But it'll be interesting to see how they'll do against the U.S. Away this week.
Yeah, I think it's as you're seeing, it's USA. Okay, it's at home. I think US will get at least the first 3 points. Now, who knows? I'm still in the school of thought that there is a major problem with the US, and that second half of Honduras was just disastrous by Honduras, and the US just took advantage of it. You take that half out, between the first 2 games and that first half in Honduras, the US looked ridiculously bad, right?
Yeah.
Pepe came in. Pepe didn't do anything in the first half until Honduras just made some bad subs and thought they had the game won, and then obviously everything that happened. So interesting to see what the U.S. is going to do when they go to Panama. I think that's going to be their toughest game. And yeah, like I said,
keep an eye on Panama. And keep an eye on Panama. They could be one of the surprise teams. They could be one of the surprise teams of the first 2 months of the World Cup qualifying. I mean, they did an exceptional job in
Panama
September.
Let's look at Panama really quick. Panama goes to El Salvador first and plays against the U.S. in Panama, and then Canada in Canada. Those tough games for Panama, right? Goes to El Salvador, plays the U.S. at home, and then Canada. So interesting to see what Canada does there. I mean, Panama does.
I think we got kind of like a good, like, I guess you could say like a litmus test for Panama, that if they can get 7 points out of this, it really shows that they're a true World Cup qualifying contender. But they're definitely right now one of the teams, I guess you could say one of the dark horses to keep an eye on in World Cup qualifying so far.
Yep. We'll see. Don't know if you guys heard, but CR already missing players for this window because they're beefing with coach. Ugalde said he'd return with Suarez when Suarez was gone. Lots of stuff going on with Costa Rica. Is Campbell even going to go? Is he even going to play? I definitely have to see. So Raymond said, do you think we're ever going to be able to see a game in Jalisco? Not at the old Jalisco.
That'd be cool.
I don't think. Maybe
Olympic qualifiers, and that's why.
maybe, no.
But it would be cool because you're seeing what the U.S. is doing, like with some of how they're moving some of the games. Like
that's because they haven't found a spot.
I think
let's be honest.
Yeah. Regardless of the reasoning for that, though, it'd be cool to see more of the Mexico like World Cup qualifiers moving from like stadium to stadium. I think that'd be awesome. I know the Azteca is like historic, and I know it's massive, and I know that is the home of like Mexico, but like. I don't know. I'd love to see a game like. What about like one of like I don't know, like Rayados' like new stadium? That'd be like incredibly cool. You would
have a friendly there. Have a friendly, not a World Cup qualifier.
Not a friendly. I want an actual World Cup qualifier. I think that it should be.
Joanna's leaving now. Joanna's leaving. She's like,
see, this is what happens when I start talking about moving it to different venues.
All right. I go 9 points. Cesar, your final points for this.
7 points, 2 wins, and then the last game will be a draw.
Amy.
I copy Cesar's homework. 2 wins and a draw.
You don't want to talk about which draws, right?
It's the last one.
No, I said the last one. I agree with him.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Would be kind of cool to do a Twitter space or something before the game, or maybe in the middle of the game. That'd be cool, like a little halftime thing. So we'll see if maybe we can do that if you guys are up for it.
Yeah. Down for something before.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Giovanna's saying 6 points. So is it? I visited Cincinnati once, and I can see why the U.S. is playing there. I don't know what that means, but
I don't know what to make. I don't know what to make of that statement. Is it a demographic?
Is it because it's a nice city, or is it because there's a lot of white people? You think it's just American? Is that it? I mean, we can say it. I think Danny's saying 9 points. We'll see. All right. We'll see how many. All right.
Is this the podcast where we've said the most numbers? It's just like 6, 9, 8, 7, 8, 5, 3, 2. It's just like
724.
Yeah.
Jenny 69.
Jesus. Oh.
There it is.
She was like up on Spotify. Like she was like one of the top songs from it or something like that, right?
You know what? We should totally start it with that song just to start. No,
You
because then we
already
get
did it during one
copyrighted.
Zoom call. I'm not doing it again.
Just we
Probably.
can get copyrighted. All right. Cesar, sign us off. Or we can be done.
Well, let's keep an eye on how Mexico does this week. It's gonna be, no, actually, obviously next week as well. It's gonna be a crucial time for them before 2 very difficult away games for them World Cup qualifying. I think they'll go undefeated, but fingers crossed they do. They get the 9 points. But yeah, keep an eye on the games.
I don't know what happened. I was trying to get a song. No. It'd be nice to see Chivas players play again. Again. Will we see any Chivas players play?
They do play a friendly this week.
Against Leon.
They do play friendly this week. I think, is it in LA? Yeah.
Tomorrow?
So.
That's tomorrow, isn't it?
I think that is tomorrow.
Isn't it against Leon in San Jose?
No, I think it's somewhere in LA.
Ni sabes. Stop.
I thought Carlos said that he's going to be there. I thought he was going to be in San Jose. I don't know anything. We'll see what happens. All right. I'll be joining the CBS Que Golazo pod tomorrow, bright and early with who's hosting it, Amy? Who hosts the Que Golazo?
Research talk. I don't know.
Cheers.
It's not mine.
Cheers. So a plug for that. It's cool because I'm coming in with the Mexico chat, so Mexico talk. So yeah. Chivas says some random team and then Leon. Oh, okay. I think they are playing Leon in San Jose.
Oh, is it?
But not tomorrow.
It's like
I never said tomorrow.
Is it CAD like fast? Isn't that where Guli Pena was playing or still is playing? I think that might be. I'm not sure.
You see, Landin's been in the news again for no reason. I hate when
scoring some golazos.
Oh, now he scores goals. Anyways,
he's scoring goals many times. All right. Nos vemos. Hasta la próxima.